everybody, we're here for a little Monte Monday action. I'm Dave with Half Dozen Customs. Last week we left off with working on the passenger side fender. And if you remember in that video, I had said something. I was like, did I weld up those holes on the driver's side fender? And I walked over here and looked, and no, I did not. So, 3 holes here from where the emblem used to go. We're not putting the emblem back on here. The emblem wasn't on here before. They dented this in and they just filled it with filler. So, we're actually going to weld them up. And I'm hoping that with some welding and some cooling, that it'll actually maybe help straighten out this fender a little bit, because they hammered it in so that they could fill it with filler. And if I push from the back, I can push it out. So it's not like a very strong dent, I would say. You know, sometimes, you know, you get a dent where it's hit, and you try and push on it from the back, and like, it's not moving. You know, heat shrinking those are, you know, a little harder to do, because it, you know, it's a tough dent. This is you know, I think it's more of what I would say is a soft dent, because, you know, I can push on it and make it move. So I'm hoping, you know, with a little heat treating, you know, get it hot, cool it, get it hot, cool it, get it hot, cool it, that maybe this dent will work itself out. So let's, almost knocked you guys over. So let's try this and see what we can do. It is getting late out. We did not do our normal Monte Monday today. I did a bunch of other stuff. So, I don't know how long we'll be out here, but let's see if we can get this done. Okay, so it did not, I watched it move. Like, it sucked in when we welded it, it pulled back out when we blew it with the blowgun. And we, even with grinding, I watched it suck in with grinding, and then I blew on it and I watched it come back out. So let's see if we can maybe do a little heat treating here. No promises this will work, but we can try it. So I went in between all the welds with that. I want to reach back here and push on it. I need to put gloves on because I'm sure this is warm. Oh yeah, no more tin can. You see how that's gone? We're good. So we are good. No more tin can. Now, it's not straight. It's not straight. I can still feel that this is, you know, dented in here, but the tin can is gone. So let's see. Should we attempt to see if we can maybe straighten it out a little or make it worse? What do you think? This is where it would be nice to actually have like a torch with the pencil style tip on there. That feels good. I think we got that. I think that we got that pretty well cleaned up. Wonder if we can work off this bottom a little bit. So, not too bad there. So, what I was doing was I was using just my regular pry bar. I'm not a PDR guy. I don't have PDR tools. But I was reaching inside the front of the fender and I was pushing on this dent. So we did the heat treating first and we got rid of the tin can. So we put all the strength back in the metal, but we still had a dent there. So I was using this to push on the dent and I was hammering around it and we were using this. And what was happening was that, so we were using that pry bar to push on the back and then we were hammering and then it was making a high spot where that pry bar was. So I kept pushing, hammering, pushing. I'd go in a little farther, I'd push, I'd hammer, I'd go in a little farther, I'd push, I'd hammer, go in a little farther, I'd push, I'd hammer, I'd go in a little farther, I'd push, and I'd hammer. So it gave us high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, all the way across. Then I went in with my block from the back and some people call them a slab hammer. I call them a spoon. And I hammered this all out. Is it 100%? No, but it is 100% better than it was. And then we moved down to here. Down here, we had already done a bunch of pin pulling down here in a previous video, but I never finished it. So I kind of did the same thing. I used that pry bar. I went in there. I could feel where the low spots were. I went in there and I pushed. And we hammered and we pushed and hammered. And then I did the spoon and the dolly. And we dollied that all out. Then on the bottom, we had that patch that we welded in here that we got rid of that. We got rid of that marker light that was here, and this fender is damaged down here. It was actually kind of dented in down here, and you know, I didn't fix it before we welded in our patch, so we kind of welded in our patch to a dented fender. I don't suggest that, but I went back with hammer and dolly and a little spoon action, and we hammered that out, and I was able to straighten it out some. So reason why I don't suggest doing it the way that we did it, if you're doing TIG welding, that's fine. MIG welding is very brittle welds, and when you're hammering on them, you can crack them. So you don't want to crack your welds. So that's why I kind of don't suggest putting a patch in the middle of a dent and then fixing the dent. Should really try and fix the dent first and then put your patch in. Do as I say, not as I do. So, but yeah, I think we're good. There is still some dents that we need to work out on this fender. There's gonna be some pin pulling, and then some hammering, some pin pulling, some hammering. I think everything's all up in the top section pretty much. I don't think we're gonna really be able. There might be one that we can get up in there with the dolly from the back, but we need to pin pull it first. But some of the other ones, I don't think that we're gonna be able to get to. So it's just gonna be pin pulling and hammering, and it is, it is what it is. Like there's a dent on the top of the fender, and then there's a buckle here, a buckle out. So we'll put a pin up here, we'll pull the dent up, and then we'll hammer this buckle down. It's 10 o'clock. I think I'm done. I'm done making noise. It is Monday, of course, and people gotta get up and go to work in the morning, and I'm out here, grinding and banging on stuff. I try and be respectable of my neighbors. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We may do, maybe tomorrow we'll put another hour in, and we'll pin pull some dents and hammer on this a little more, maybe in the morning before we start our day on other projects, or at least try and do something this week. I always say that, like, hey, we'll do some work on it during the week. Last week we actually did. Last week we actually did work on the other fender throughout the week, just a half hour here and a half hour there, stripping that fender. So it did work, and I did get some stuff done. But it's hard for me to, when I'm working on other projects and I'm dedicated to those projects, it's hard for me to pull myself away and work on other projects. Not that I can't do it, it's just I feel bad because, my time, I have a schedule that I run, and certain days get these vehicles, certain days get those vehicles, certain nights get this vehicle, And if I'm working on that outside of my scheduled times, especially with like the one behind me, that is a friend's truck. So he knows I work on this on Mondays. He knows at night, for an hour each night, I work on a different vehicle that you guys haven't seen the videos for yet. If I'm working on stuff any time outside of those schedules, I feel bad, because if he comes over here and he sees that I'm working on something else, I feel bad. So I try not to do that. I try to stick to my schedule. And yeah, so we'll see what we get done. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me, you know, kind of straighten some of this fender out. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's way better than it was. Nothing about this fender is perfect, nor will it ever be, but it's way better than it was. These fenders weren't supposed to be getting fixed. So, but yeah, here we are. And I'm gonna keep saying that until they're fixed. So, starting over here in this corner, this sign right here is a new addition to the shop. Thanks to my buddy that owns the Jeep, he got me that. And then yesterday was my birthday, and Colleen, she did this for me. So this frame, picture frame, window frame, that is off of like an old hutch that we had here. And we kept the doors off of it, got rid of the hutch. We have another door to do, but she did that. That's all hand lettered and leafed. So, and it's behind the glass. Everything's done behind the glass. So, super cool thing. I think I'm gonna hang that up in my office, not in the shop, but super cool. So thanks to Keegan for the one sign, and thank you to Colleen for the awesome piece of artwork there. That came out super cool. So we're out here for a little Monte Monday action. And I think we're gonna start over here. We got some dents to pull. There's another one here. This one I think is just gonna be a little maybe hammering and dollying. But we're gonna do some pin pulling here. So I think we're gonna start with that. You can see we kind of, if you remember, last week we did some heat treating and stuff here, and you can see that we got some rust from me using the water to cool all that. So Okay, I would say that I think we're pretty good. I think we have worked out everything that I wanted to work out on here. Even got this lower patch pulled a little bit. When we welded it, it kind of sunk in where our weld was. I got that pulled out, which is awesome. I wasn't even thinking about doing that, but I figured while we were here, I'd give it a try, and it worked. So, you know what? It looks like there's a... It looks like there's a dent right here. Feels a little better. It was really dented in down here before we put that patch in. I'm thinking that like next time we have this fender off, we need to set this down on the table and hammer it out on the table. You can actually see that the bottom edge of the fender is swooped in like this. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can catch it in the camera. So, I mean, it's very slight, but it's there. And I think, you know, I think putting it on the table and hammering it out, we can get that to straighten out a little bit. What we can, what we can't. If you guys notice, I got a new hat on today. This is a hat I got back in 2019 on the Hot Rod Power Tour. Had to retire the Chicago hat. It was just falling apart on me, and yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. So retired that one, broke out a new one. All right, guys. Well, I think it's lunchtime for me. Like I said, I apologize that there's not, there's, you know, not a whole lot going on with the Monte Carlo recently. I mean, we're still getting stuff done and we're still moving forward. It's just, you know, things are over here. Like I said, it's summertime, and you know, we're doing all types of stuff now. So unfortunately, the Monte Carlo is one of ours. So, you know, it kind of has to get pushed to the side a little bit when we have other stuff to do. This is the one that falls to the end of the line. But like I said, we're still doing work on it. After lunch, we'll be back out, and we'll do a little more cleanup over there on that side, and maybe start welding up some of those holes in there that don't belong in there. So yeah, we'll be back after I film my belly. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Oh.